USDA dietary guidelines touted its vast benefits. Now, saturated fat is widely condemned. But, spoiler alert, it's about to get a serious makeover, as I'll discuss in Part 2. With all this conflicting information, maybe it's no surprise that many of us are guided as much by our own feelings and ideas about food as by what anybody else tells us. Emotions and information sometimes clash over food. Our mood and what we feel like eating versus what we know about what's in particular foods and what's good for us. How many of us buy that muffin in the coffee shop because it seems just the ticket for what ails us? Or have had a bowl of ice cream at bedtime because we feel blue? Mood ups and downs can lead to an awful lot of senseless eating, and it turns out that some foods can reinforce those mood swings. Blissful foods loaded with sugar cause the brain to release neurochemicals like dopamine, chemicals that push our pleasure-seeking and possibly even addiction buttons. Serotonin, the contentment neurotransmitter, can easily be in short supply. More about this in Part 2. At the very least, a bad mood can put a certain spin on our food choices. Personally, to practice mindful eating requires me to reflect on my moods and personal associations with particular foods. Examine how emotion, memory, and experience affect my food choices. Then enjoy my immediate experience of the moment. Stop, think, then act. For those moments when emotion threatens all good judgment, there is some hard science to point us in reliably wholesome directions, away from processed ingredients and toward whole foods, away from sugar, and away from rampant eating. Of course, there are also times when rational science has little effect, as with disordered eating. Those of us who find ourselves here face a giant set of challenges, where numerous foods or situations trigger overeating or undereating, and I don't aim to give FoodWISE advice for such a challenge. Yet short of these specific disorders, eating too much, eating too little, beyond or falling short of what's needed to meet average physiological and psychological requirements, are behaviors that must be addressed, and I do so in Part 2. These are the sides, then, in the battle we all fight daily. What we want to eat versus what's good for us, thinking about what we can afford, but also what's available. What we want to eat is shaped by our upbringing and culture, our immediate emotional sensations, what we're used to doing, our food habits, and by the blizzard of information and opinions thrown at us by the food industry and commentators, some well-meaning, some self-serving. All of these influences are present in every food decision we make. Friends and peers, anyone we share a meal with, also can shape our choices. Are there foods you know you should be eating, like leafy greens, and foods you try to avoid for health or ethical, moral reasons? Do you have favorite dishes with seemingly magical abilities to heal or comfort you? Our food beliefs can be downright fierce, formed by nurture and the eating environments of our childhood, or adopted through experience and reason in adulthood. These deeply held beliefs and convictions can drive our decisions about food more than actual hunger, facts about nutrition, or economic cost. Questioning my own ideas about food and the ideas my students share with me got me to write this book. As I put down in writing my thoughts about food, I find that often the clearest way to express them is as general concerns that I think many of us share, combined with my own ideas and ways of dealing with them. So I write about concerns for us, interests we have, and about how I view them, but also about situations that you, the listener, may find yourself or yourselves in and how you might react. Consequently, the writing hops back and forth between first person and second person. That makes sense, because we, that is, I and you, are all in this together. One further note, if you want more information, you will find references in the section titled Notes at the back of the hard issue of this book. In FoodWISE, I take a close look at the agricultural web and some of what goes into making informed food choices in it, and I want you to come along on the journey. I can tell you what I've found, but my goal is to help you figure out for yourself how to interpret the things you hear about food. Stop, think, then act. That's my mantra. Don't take anything at face value.